Hassan Nasrallah has been killed in an Israeli strike. His killing surpasses the strategic impact of Osama bin Laden's and Qasem Soleimani's eliminations, as his death resonates across the Middle East, transcending Hezbollah, Iran, and the axis of resistance. Who was Hassan Nasrallah? How did he rise to prominence to become a leading figure in the Middle East politics? Let's deep dive into his life and his rise to fame. Hassan Nasrallah, born on August 31, 1960, was the ninth of 10 children in a Shia Islamic family from Burj Hammoud, a suburb of Beirut. His father, Abdul Karim Nasrallah, originally from Bazuria village in southern Lebanon, made a living selling fruits and vegetables. Despite his family's moderate religious practices, Hassan showed keen interest in theological studies. He pursued his education at Al-Najah School and later at a public school in Sin el-Fil, a predominantly Christian neighborhood. In 1975, the Lebanese Civil War prompted the Nasrallah family to relocate to Bazuria, where Nasrallah completed his secondary education at a public school in Tyre. During this time, he briefly joined the Amal movement, a Lebanese Shia political group under Imam Musa Sadr. Nasrallah then attended a Shia seminary in Baalbek, which followed the teachings of Mohammed Bakir al-Sadr, founder of the Dawah movement. At 16, Nasrallah traveled to Iraq to study under al-Sadr in Najaf. However, he was expelled in 1978, along with other Lebanese students, due to his involvement with the Amal movement and his support for the Iranian Revolution. Following his return to Lebanon in 1979, Nasrallah continued his studies and taught at Abbas al-Musawi School. Abbas al-Musawi was a key figure in Hezbollah. Nasrallah's involvement with Amal led to his appointment as the group's political delegate in Bekaa and membership in the Central Political Office. This period coincided with significant regional developments, including the execution of Ayatollah Mohammed Bakir al-Sadr in 1980 by government of Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Hassan Nasrallah joined Hezbollah militia. Hezbollah was apparently established as a result of planned and gradual elimination of Amal militia, giving rise to an alternative Irani-sponsored militia. The mastermind behind its creation was Dr. Mustafa Chamran, who was the first Irani defense minister after Islamic Revolution in Iran. He was a key figure in Islamic Revolutionary Guards, IRGC. Mustafa Chamran, an Iranian revolutionary and military commander, played a significant role in shaping Lebanon's Shia political landscape during the late 1970s and early 1980s, contributing indirectly to the rise of Hezbollah. Dr. Mustafa Chamran was an Iranian-born Shia Islamist and intellectual, was a close associate of Ayatollah Khomeini, and played a key role in Iran's Islamic Revolution. He remained Iran's defense minister from 1979 till 1981, when he died during Iran-Iraq War. Chamran, who earlier had strong ties to the Amal movement, a Lebanese Shia militia, helped organize and train its fighters. His involvement was rooted in his deep commitment to promoting Shia empowerment and resistance, which aligned with Iran's revolutionary ideology. However, after his involvement, Amal militia, which was under control of Imam Musa al-Sadr of Lebanon, gradually disappeared from Lebanon's political landscape. Imam Musa al-Sadr too disappeared from the scene after he was invited to Libya by Muammar al-Gaddafi, the Libyan head of state. Incidentally, Musa al-Sadr was related to Ayatollah Khomeini through matrimonial alliances. As the first Iranian defense minister and a key figure in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, Dr. Chamran worked to bolster Shia militias in Lebanon, initially focusing on Amal. However, by the early 1980s, tensions arose between Amal and Hezbollah, the latter being a newly formed organization influenced directly by Iran's Islamic Revolution and guided by the revolutionary ideals of Ayatollah Khomeini. Hezbollah's emergence was supported by Iran, which saw the group as a more reliable ally for exporting its revolution and confronting Israel. Although Chamran died in 1981 during the Iran-Iraq War, his early groundwork in organizing Lebanese Shia fighters, coupled with Iran's growing influence, laid the foundation for Hezbollah's eventual dominance. After his death, Hezbollah gradually overshadowed Amal, becoming the primary Shia force in Lebanon with full Iranian backing. Hassan Nasrallah traveled to Qom, Iran, in 1989 to deepen his Islamic studies. Nasrallah firmly believed Islam provides comprehensive solutions for societal issues, stating that it is a divine message guiding humanity and capable of addressing all aspects of life. His stay in Iran strengthened his connection with the revolutionary ideology and the clergy who mattered. The time was ripe now. It was in Iran that Hassan Nasrallah had connected with Dr. Mustafa Chamran. Dr. Chamran had played a significant role in shaping Hassan Nasrallah's early ideological and military development, ultimately influencing his leadership in Hezbollah. In the 1970s and 1980s, Chamran had mentored Nasrallah in Islamic ideology and politics. He introduced Nasrallah to Iranian revolutionary thinkers who influenced his philosophies and thinking. He also trained Nasrallah in military tactics and strategies. Chamran helped establish Hezbollah in 1982 with Iranian support. He coordinated with Lebanese Shia leaders, including Nasrallah, and provided military guidance and training. Nasrallah often praised Chamran's influence, describing Chamran as his mentor and teacher, and crediting Chamran with shaping his ideological views. He honored Chamran's legacy in Hezbollah's struggle. The Chamran-Nasrallah connection solidified Iranian-Lebanese Shia ties and shaped Hezbollah's Islamist ideology and fostered Nasrallah's leadership and resistance strategy. Chamran's impact on Nasrallah's development underscores the significant role Iranian revolutionary ideals played in shaping Hezbollah's origins and trajectory. Following the Israeli assassination of Hezbollah's leader, Abbas Musawi, in 1992, Hassan Nasrallah took control of the organization. Under Nasrallah's leadership, Hezbollah significantly enhanced its military capabilities, acquiring long-range rockets that enabled attacks on northern Israel, despite Israel's occupation of southern Lebanon. In response, Israel launched Operation Accountability in 1993, which severely damaged Lebanon's infrastructure. Israel claimed victory, but a subsequent agreement brought an end to the hostilities, with Israel ceasing its attacks in Lebanon and Hezbollah pledging to halt strikes on northern Israel. The conflict between Israel and Lebanon was far from over. In 1996, Israel launched Operation Grapes of Wrath, a 16-day assault on Lebanon that blocked key harbor cities and bombed a Syrian military base. The Israeli-Lebanese ceasefire understanding was eventually agreed upon, with Hezbollah consenting to cease rocket attacks in exchange for Israel stopping its aggression. However, this peace was short-lived, much like the 1993 agreement. A pivotal moment for Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, came in September 1997. Hassan Nasrallah's eldest son, Hadi Nasrallah, was killed by Israeli forces on September 12, 1997, during a military confrontation in southern Lebanon. At the time, Hadi was 18 years old and a member of Hezbollah's military wing. He was part of a Hezbollah operation targeting Israeli forces and their allied South Lebanon Army, SLA, in the occupied zone of southern Lebanon. Hadi's death became a symbol of martyrdom within Hezbollah and was used by the organization to rally support for its resistance against Israel. His father, Hassan Nasrallah, publicly embraced his son's martyrdom as part of the broader cause of defending Lebanon from Israeli occupation. Hadi's image and story were widely circulated by Hezbollah as part of its narrative of sacrifice and resistance, and Nasrallah himself became even more deeply associated with Hezbollah's commitment to fighting Israel. The death of Hadi Nasrallah strengthened the perception of Hassan Nasrallah's personal investment in the Hezbollah cause and added to his status as a leader who shared in the sacrifices made by ordinary Hezbollah fighters and their families. Hassan Nasrallah's heartfelt speech and visits to other grieving families transformed his public image. This moment humanized him, showcasing his compassion and leadership. It brought the Lebanese people together, solidifying his reputation as a selfless and culturally rooted leader. In Israel, doubts grew about the value of maintaining a military presence in southern Lebanon, as Hezbollah's rocket attacks consistently breached the designated buffer zone. Following substantial Israeli losses, some leaders suggested that withdrawal was the sole means of ending the impasse. In 2000, Ehud Barak executed this plan, redeploying Israeli troops from Lebanon. However, this prompted the rapid downfall of the Israeli-supported South Lebanon Army, SLA, at the hands of Hezbollah. While some SLA members fled to Israel, others fell into Hezbollah captivity. Hezbollah's victory significantly enhanced its stature and appeal within Lebanon and the global Islamic community. Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, gained widespread recognition and acclaim in Lebanon and the Arab world for his pivotal role in ending the Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon. This achievement significantly enhanced Hezbollah's political influence within the country. Nasrallah played a crucial part in negotiating a complex prisoner exchange deal with Israel in 2004. The deal led to the release of hundreds of Palestinian and Lebanese prisoners and the return of many human remains to Lebanon, including that of his own son. The Arab world hailed this agreement as a resounding victory for Hezbollah, with Nasrallah receiving personal praise for his accomplishment. Later, rumors emerged that Nasrallah had relinquished command of Hezbollah's military wing to his deputy, Naim Qasim, in August 2007. However, Hezbollah swiftly denied these claims, labeling them an attempt to undermine the movement's popularity. In July 2006, a significant political development took place in Lebanon. Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, and Michael Aoun, the leader of the Free Patriotic Movement and a former premier, signed a landmark agreement. Their 10-point memorandum of understanding outlined key concessions from both sides. Hezbollah agreed to lay down its arms once its prisoners were released, and Israel withdrew from the disputed Sheba farms. Additionally, the organization pledged to pardon and allow the return of fugitive members of the South Lebanon Army. In return, Aoun's Free Patriotic Movement committed to pushing for electoral reform in Lebanon's parliament, moving towards a one-man, one-vote system. This collaboration marked a peaceful resolution to Hezbollah's disarmament, achieving through diplomacy what could have otherwise required force. Aoun highlighted the significance of this agreement in an op-ed published in the Wall Street Journal, emphasizing the potential for political progress without bloodshed. The 2006 Lebanon War erupted after Hezbollah ambushed Israeli soldiers, killing 3 and abducting 2. Israel responded with intense bombardments targeting Hezbollah strongholds, particularly in South Beirut, a predominantly Shiite neighborhood controlled by the militant group. The bombardments left widespread destruction across Beirut. The Israel-Hezbollah fights never stops as both parties continuously pursue their targets. Imad Mughniya was a senior Hezbollah commander and one of the organization's founding members, playing a critical role in shaping its military and intelligence operations. Born in 1962 in Lebanon, Mughniya was very close to Hassan Nasrallah. He rose to prominence in the 1980s, becoming a key figure in orchestrating high-profile attacks, kidnappings, and bombings targeting U.S., Israeli, and Western interests. He was linked to several major incidents, including the 1983 bombings of U.S. Marine barracks in Beirut and the 1992 Israeli embassy attack in Argentina. Mughniya was considered the mastermind behind many of Hezbollah's operations and a strategic asset for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. His expertise in asymmetrical warfare and covert operations made him a feared and highly sought-after figure by Western and Israeli intelligence agencies. On February 12, 2008, Mughniya was assassinated in Damascus, Syria, when a car bomb exploded as he passed by. The assassination was widely attributed to Israeli intelligence agency Mossad, though Israel has never officially confirmed its involvement. His death was a major blow to Hezbollah, but the organization vowed retaliation. Like Nasrallah, Mughniya remains a celebrated figure within Hezbollah, symbolizing its resistance and martyrdom narrative. Hezbollah signed the Doha Agreement on May 21, 2008. It was a pivotal political accord that ended an 18-month-long political crisis in Lebanon. This agreement came after Hezbollah and its allies clashed with the government, leading to violent confrontations in Beirut. The deal, brokered in Qatar, facilitated the formation of a national unity government and marked a major political victory for Hezbollah. The agreement granted Hezbollah veto power in the cabinet by ensuring the opposition bloc, which Hezbollah led, 11 out of 30 cabinet seats. This effectively gave Hezbollah significant control over government decisions. Additionally, the deal laid out provisions for the election of Michael Suleiman as president, ending a long presidential vacuum, and established new electoral laws to ensure more balanced representation. By securing veto power and gaining formal political recognition within Lebanon's governance structure, Hezbollah solidified its influence not only as a military force, but also as a dominant political player. This political empowerment allowed the group to shape key policies and maintain its armed wing, which has remained a point of contention in Lebanese politics. The Doha Agreement thus strengthened Hezbollah's position in both the domestic and regional political landscapes. This attempt on Nasrallah's life was not the first. He was reportedly poisoned in October 2008, according to Iraqi news source Al-Malaf. Sources in Lebanon claimed that he was targeted with a highly toxic chemical substance, and his condition was critical for several days. Iranian doctors traveled to Lebanon to treat him, and he made a recovery. This news had been denied by Hezbollah officials vehemently. Lebanese parliament member Al-Hajj Hassan, affiliated with Hezbollah, labeled the rumors a lie and a fabrication, confirming Nasrallah's well-being despite not having seen him recently. Hassan Nasrallah, as the leader of Hezbollah, was often regarded as a key proxy for Iran in the Middle East. Hezbollah was founded with significant support from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, in the early 1980s. Since then, Nasrallah has maintained a close alliance with Iran, aligning Hezbollah's strategic and military objectives with Tehran's broader regional ambitions. As a proxy Iranian fighter, Nasrallah has helped Iran extend its influence in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and beyond. Under his leadership, Hezbollah has not only acted as a domestic political player, but also as a regional military force, fighting in the Syrian civil war to support the Assad regime at Iran's behest, and participating in various conflicts opposing U.S. and Israeli interests. Nasrallah's ties to the late Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, former commander of the Quds Force, further cemented Hezbollah's role as a pillar of Iran's axis of resistance. Hassan Nasrallah and Qasem Soleimani shared a close and strategic relationship rooted in their mutual roles within the axis of resistance, a coalition led by Iran to counter Western, Israeli, and Saudi influence in the Middle East. Nasrallah, as the leader of Hezbollah, and Soleimani, as the commander of Iran's Quds Force, collaborated extensively to advance Iranian influence across the region. Their relationship went beyond military coordination. Soleimani, as Iran's top general responsible for foreign operations, was a key patron of Hezbollah, providing it with weapons, training, and financial support. Nasrallah, in turn, ensured that Hezbollah acted as a critical extension of Iran's military strategy, especially in conflicts like the Syrian civil war, where Hezbollah's fighters, under Soleimani's guidance, played a decisive role in propping up the Assad regime. Nasrallah often expressed deep admiration and respect for Soleimani after Soleimani's assassination in 2020. By a U.S. drone strike, Nasrallah publicly mourned him, referring to him as a dear brother and partner in the fight against Israel and Western forces. Their bond symbolized the deep military and ideological ties between Hezbollah and Iran, solidifying Hezbollah's role as a key instrument of Iranian power in the region. Nasrallah's speeches frequently echo Iranian rhetoric, especially in terms of opposing Israel and the West. His leadership ensures that Hezbollah functions as both an independent Lebanese actor and a loyal extension of Iran's military and ideological influence in the region. On May 25, 2013, Hassan Nasrallah, as the Secretary General of Hezbollah, made a significant announcement regarding Hezbollah's involvement in the Syrian civil war. He declared that Hezbollah was actively fighting against Islamist extremists in Syria, with a specific focus on preventing Syrian militants from controlling areas along the Lebanese border. Nasrallah confirmed that Hezbollah was working alongside the Syrian army in the strategic town of Qusair, emphasizing the importance of this alliance in countering the growing threat of extremist groups. In his televised address, he cautioned that if Syria were to fall into the hands of America, Israel, and extremist Takfiri groups, the entire region would plunge into darkness. In 2017, Hezbollah, alongside Syrian government forces and supported by Russian air power, played a crucial role in recapturing Aleppo, a significant turning point in the Syrian civil war. Aleppo, Syria's largest city and a key economic hub, had been divided between rebel forces and government troops since 2012. The battle for Aleppo intensified in late 2016, when the Syrian army, Hezbollah fighters, and other allied militias launched a decisive offensive to retake the city. Hezbollah provided critical ground support in urban warfare, utilizing its experienced fighters to push back rebel groups, including factions backed by the West, Turkey, and Gulf states. The siege tactics and relentless bombardments, especially on rebel-held eastern Aleppo, led to severe humanitarian crises, but eventually forced the rebels to surrender in December 2016. By early 2017, the Syrian government fully controlled Aleppo. The fall of Aleppo was a strategic victory for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his allies, particularly Hezbollah and Iran. It effectively weakened the opposition forces and shifted the momentum of the war in Assad's favor. For Hezbollah, the victory solidified its role as a powerful regional military force and reinforced its alliance with the Syrian government. Hezbollah continued supporting Bashar al-Assad's regime, fighting alongside Syrian government forces against rebels. In April 2020, Hezbollah militants helped capture the strategic city of Daraa. By 2022, the Syrian government had regained control of most territories. In addition to supporting Bashar in Syria, Hezbollah supported Houthis in Yemen. It expanded its influence in Yemen, supporting Houthi rebels against the Saudi-led coalition. In 2022, Nasrallah pledged increased support for Palestinian resistance groups. In Lebanon, Hezbollah maintained its grip on Lebanese politics, ensuring its allies' participation in the 2022 parliamentary elections. Nasrallah navigated complex alliances, balancing Shia, Sunni, and Christian interests, hence attained a pivotal figure in Lebanese politics and in the region. He, however, continued to maintain a staunch anti-Israeli stance and therefore remained in the crosshair of Israeli forces. On September 27, 2024, the Israeli Air Force carried out a significant airstrike on Hezbollah's central headquarters in Beirut, specifically targeting Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah. The strike, codenamed New Order by the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, involved dropping over 80 bombs, including US-made bunker buster bombs, on the underground headquarters located beneath residential buildings in the Harat Araik neighborhood. The attack resulted in substantial casualties, with at least 33 people killed and over 195 injured, including civilians. Initially, Nasrallah's condition was uncertain, but the IDF announced his death on September 28, 2024, which was later confirmed by Hezbollah and Lebanese authorities. His body was recovered from the rubble 2 days after the strike, with reports suggesting he died from blunt force trauma sustained during the attack. The killing of Hassan Nasrallah in Israeli strikes surpasses in significance those of Osama bin Laden in May 2011, Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in January 2020, and other towering figures who have shaped the region's violent modern history.